Hello students. Today we are going to discuss about the PYQ questions of the chapter Biodiversity and Conservation. Let's discuss. So, our first question is list of endangered species was released by. They are asking about the organization that provide the list of endangered species. So, first of all, what do you mean by endangered species? Endangered species are those species, either plants or animals, which are at the edge of extinction. In about near years, they can become extinct, cannot be found on the earth. That are in a near extinction. That is an endangered species, and that list is released by IUCN, Red List of IUCN, and this is a international union for conservation of nature and natural resources. So it is a union at international level that conserve the nature and natural resources, and this is in the 2004. So yes, correct option is D. After that, according to Robert May, the global species diversity is about. So this is a scientist, Robert May, and he scientifically analyzed the global species diversity. So according to him, it is 7 million, 20 million, 1.5 million, or 50 million. So correct option is 7 million. Option A is correct. We can read here. So a scientific estimate was given by Robert May of the global species diversity, that is about 7 million. So option A is correct. After that, there is a fill in the blank, match the following. So Robert May, as we know, Robert May analyzed the global species diversity scientifically, which is about 7 million. So third is correct. Third. So ये option गई right. Alexander von Humboldt. So he given the species area relationship. So option A 1 is correct. So B option is correct. Paul Ehrlich given the Reed Popper hypothesis, and David Tillman, he gave the long-term ecosystem experiment using outdoor plant. So yes, option B is correct. We can also read about these theories. So see, this is an naturalist from the German and also geographer, that is Alexander von Humboldt, which observed that if the surface area is explored more, then the species richness within the region increases. So he observed that the region species richness increase when their increasing explored area is increased, but only up to a limit, or only into a certain limit it increases. After that it becomes stable. We can also see that is a species richness that is increasing with the area. So yes, when we increase the area, species richness increases, but only up to a certain point. After that it becomes stable. So that's why it is a theory that is given by Alexander von Humboldt, and its logarithm is log s, that represents species area, log c, that is a y-intercept, and z, that is a slope value, log a representing area. And it basically graph is represented in the form of rectangular hyperbola. That is also important. Okay. So after that, another theory. So that is a David Tillman's long-term ecosystem experiment using outdoor plots, which provide some tentative answer. Tillman found that plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation in total biomass. So what he was saying that he when he used outdoor plots, and he observed that plots with more species showed less variation in the total biomass with the year to year. So species with more species, it biomass become less variation. So he showed that his experiment showed that increased diversity contributed to higher productivity. So जैसे diversity ज़्यादा होगी, productivity भी ज़्यादा होगी. After that, there is a Paul Ehrlich, which give the Rivet-Popper hypothesis, which is an analogy with the ecosystem and their species. So Paul Ehrlich is a Stanford ecologist, which give the Rivet-Popper hypothesis. In this, he compared the airplane with the ecosystem, and the all parts are joined together using thousands of rivets. Here, rivets are representing the species. So yes. So this is all the theories. After that, so Rivet-Popper hypothesis, Paul Ehrlich compared the rivet in an airplane too. So here they are asking about the comparison of the rivet in an airplane. Rivet is compared with, so it is compared with the species, right? So option A is correct. Species with the genus. Genetic diversity, no. Ecosystem, no, that is a airplane. Gender with the family, no. So option A is correct. After that, the flying, that is biodiversity hotspot. So biodiversity hotspot, which is a Western Ghat. So yes, and the alien species invasion, that is a Parthenium, and Johnsonburg, South Africa. So that is at this place, World Summit on Sustainable Development was held in 2002, and Sacred Grove, which is a Khasi Gentia Hills in Meghalaya. So yes, option is 1, that is a 4, B 1, C 2, D 3. So option A is correct. The historic convention on biological diversity, the Earth's Summit, was held in Rio de Janeiro in the year. We can read about it. So yes, biodiversity knows no political boundaries, and its conservation is therefore a collective responsibility of all nations. So yes, biodiversity has no political boundaries, and it is all the responsibility of citizen to conserve its natural resources and the nature ecosystem. After that, the historic convention on biological diversity, that is the Earth's Summit, held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. So option is 1992. Rio de Janeiro held in the 1992, and World Summit held in the 2002. Okay, so that is the correct option. After that, which of the following is related to ex situ conservation of threatened animal and plant? So first of all, what do you mean by ex situ conservation? Ex situ conservation means off-site conservation. Off-site conservation means taking the threatened or endangered species out of its natural habitat and placing that species in a special setting for their conservation. So that is the ex situ conservation of threatened animal and plant, which is biodiversity hotspot, no, that is under the in situ conservation. Himalayan region, no. In situ, no. So wild safari park, that come under ex situ conservation. We can also read what do you mean by ex situ conservation. So yes, ex situ conservation. Ex situ conservation, in this approach, Threatened animal and plant are taken out from their natural habitat and placed in a special setting where they can be protected and given special care. So yes, threatened animals and plants taken out there from natural habitat and placed in a special setting for their protection. This includes zoological park, botanical garden, wildlife safari parks. So these are their methods. It also includes further techniques such as cryopreservation technique, and mm, in this threatened gametes can be preserved in a viable and fertile condition for a long period, and eggs can be fertilized in the in vitro condition, and plants can be propagated to use tissue culture method, and there are seed bags under which seeds of different genetic strains can be kept for long period. So that are various methods of the ex situ conservation. After that, red list contain data or information of marine vertebrate only. No, red list. So it can't be a, no, it is not about any marine vertebrate only. All economic important plants, no, there is no list about the economic important plants. Plants those products are in international trade, no. So red list is about the threatened species which are in the about 100 years it can become extinct. So list is given about their reduction in their individual number, species number, and their reproduction rate on the basis of analyze, and their species name is given in that list. So that is based on the threatened species. So option A is correct. After that, that is about Amazon forest. Amazon forest is basically the lungs of the forest and lungs of the earth. Why? Because it gives 70%, near 70% oxygen, and there are various diversity of plants, animals, etc. So here are various plants, invertebrate, fishes, mammals, birds are given, and you have to categorize in a descending order. So what option could be correct? So invertebrates are a highly large number, that is a 1,25,000. So option B will come first. After that, there is a number of plants. So yes. After that, there is a number of fishes. So option A is correct. So what are their numbers? We can see Amazon. So yes, these are their numbers. Largely tropical Amazon rainforest that is located in the South America, which has the greatest biodiversity on the earth. That is also important. That the Amazon rainforest, which is tropical and located in the South America, and has a highest biodiversity on the earth, which is about plants number 40,000, followed by fish 3,000, birds 1,300, and after that mammals or amphibians of same number 427, at the end reptiles 378, and invertebrates has highest number, that is 1,25,000. So option E is correct. We can see mammals come at the end 4 to 7, so D option at the end, right? So option A is correct. Okay, after that, which of the following statement are correct? So Amazon rainforest being cut and cleared for cultivation of soybean is an example of habitat loss. So yes. What do you mean by habitat loss? When we for the human benefit clear many forests, deforestation, cutting many areas for the human use, or clearing forests for wood making for the human beneficial. So in this we can include habitat loss. So yes, Amazon rainforest, which is used for the cultivation of soybean, and the number of area is cleared. So this statement is true. After that, Stiller's sea cow and passenger pigeon became extinct due to over exploitation by a human. Yes. First of all, what do you mean by over exploitation? When we use a resource, natural resource, in a unlimited way, yes, using highly excessively, so that is a over exploitation, usage in a such high amount that it can become extinct in the near future. So that is a true that these species become extinct due to over exploitation by the humans. So option B is correct. The Nile perk introduced into the Lake Victoria in the East Africa that helped in a population growth of the kikit fish in the lake. No, that is not true, because Nile perk is a invasive species, alien species, which when we introduce in the lake, it going to disturb the species number or the nutrition growth of the native species such as fish, kikit fish. So after the introduction of Nile perk, kikit fish become extinct. So that is not true, that is a false. Water hycan is an invasive species. Yes, water hycan, which is introduced in a lake for the beautiful appearance. So that is a invasive species. Yes, that is true. When a species becomes extinct, the plant and animal species associated with it are not affected. No, that is not true. If if there is a insect which lived on a tree, right, that is dependent on a tree, if that tree become extinct, that species is also going to become extinct, because insect is dependent on a tree, or a tree is dependent on an insect for their protection. So both are dependent on each other, right? So if one become extinct, another also become extinct. So that statement is wrong. So option A, B and D is correct. So ABD option, that is a B option, is true. After that, which of the following region of the globe exhibit highest species diversity? Amazon forest, Madagascar, Western Ghats of India, Himalaya. So we also read here that the Amazon rainforest has the greatest biodiversity on the earth, right? So option A is correct. Amazon forest has the highest species diversity. After that, tropical region show greatest level of species richness because. Why? They are asking why tropical region has highest or greatest level of species diversity. So first option is A option. Tropical latitude have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years. Hence more time was available for species diversification. So that is a true, because when the tropical area become undisturbed by the glaciers or any disturbance, then it has more time for the evolution and the species become more diversified. So yes, option A is correct. Tropical environment are more seasonal? No, tropical environment is more constant and stable, not more seasonal. Option B is wrong. More solar energy is available in tropics. Yes, tropic has the more excess of the solar energy, due to which there is a high productivity in the tropics, more biomass and the more species diversity. So yes, option C is correct. After that, constant environment promote niche specialization. Yes, that is true. Tropic has more constant environment, due to which there is a more niche specialization. Yes, that is true, and these species become more diversified. So tropical environments are constant and predictable. That is true. Tropical environment is more constant and it can be predictable. So option A is correct, because B is wrong. After that, frugivorous bird which are found in a large number in tropical forests, mainly because. So frugivorous birds, frugivorous, that are fruit eating birds which are found in the tropical forest of different continent. So temperature conductive, no, that is not related to any temperature related. Lack of niche specialization, no. High annual rainfall, no. Availability of fruits throughout the year, yet that is true. That's why they are called frugivorous, because they are fruit eating birds, depend on fruits for their survival. So yes, availability of fruits throughout the year is a correct option. After that, that is a Rivet Popper hypothesis. So that is a question repeated. Okay. Since the origin and diversification of life on Earth, there have been 5 episodes of mass extinction, which also include the dinosaur extinction. So the present extinction, which is going on, that is a sixth extinction, which is in a progress, that which is different from previous episode. How? So how present sixth extinction, which is in progress, is different from previous ones. So present net species extinction rate is 0. No, extinction rate is going on, right? That is high. So it, how it can become 0? No, that is not true. The current species extinction rate is nearly 10 times faster than in previous episode. Current species extinction rate is higher than the previous one, but it is much higher. The present species extinction rate are 100 to 1000 times faster than the pre-human times. So that is true. Option C is true, that present species extinction, which is going on, and rate is about 100 to 1000 times faster than the pre-human times. Okay, why it is so much high than the previous one? Due to human activities, due to human anthropogenic activities, which are causing major disturbance in the environment ecosystem, and also causing extinction of various species and disturbing human life also. So that's why human present extinction rate is high, that is 100 to 1000 times faster than the pre-human times. So, after that, exploring molecular, genetic, and species level diversity for product of economic importance is called. So, these are the options given. Biofortification. So, biofortification is basically the modification of fruits or any plant species to increase their nutrition content. So, that is not talking about. So, option is wrong. Bioremediation is basically use of various microorganisms, bacteria, good bacteria, to improve the quality of the soil or increase the soil productivity or remove the pollution. So that is not related to our topic. So option B is also wrong. Bioprospecting is basically the exploring the any species at the molecular and genetic level to for their product of economic importance. Basically knowing more about their how can we use for the human benefit and their economic importance and the useful of their product, and exploring in the forest or any area. So option C is correct, which is about the exploring molecular, genetic and species level diversity for the product of economic importance. Yes, that is true. Biomagnification? No. Biomagnification, it is about the basically when the toxicity level increases in the species chain or in the food chain, there is an increase in the lead content or pollution or maybe anything, toxicity increase in the food chain. So that is a biomagnification. So option C is correct. The evil quartet of biodiversity. So that is a causes of biodiversity loss. So what are the main cause of biodiversity loss? What are the major reasons? The accelerate of species extinction that the world is facing now are largely due to human activities. So world is facing a various species extinction. high rate of species extinction, that is because of human activities. And now, what are the main causes? So there are four major causes, and which is termed at the evil quartet because there are four major causes, and evil because these are bad. So that's why it is named as the evil quartet, because they are disturbing the nature. They due to this reason the species are going extinct. So that's why they are evil, and there are four major causes. Quartet means four. So that's why the evil quartet, four major causes. So these are habitat loss and fragmentation, so overexploitation, alien species invasion, co-extinction. So yes, that is true. Now we are going to read about what is habitat loss and fragmentation. So this is the most important cause driving animal and plant extinction. So from among the four major causes, habitat loss and fragmentation is most important, which lead to this species extinction. Most important cause is a habitat loss, and habitat loss come from tropical rainforest is most dramatic. So if the habitat loss which is in the tropical rainforest, that is the most dangerous. So tropical rainforest, if affected, it has a great impact due to high species diversity. Once covering more than 14% of the Earth's land area, now become 16%. So earlier it covered the 14% land of the Earth land, and now it reduced to 6% of the Earth area. They are being destroyed first. By the time you finish reading the chapter, it can be 100 more hectare of rainforest become lost. So yes, due to human activities or various natural disaster, the tropical rainforest diversity and the area is destroying at very high pace. So that is true. Amazon rainforest, which is called as the lungs of the planet. So Amazon rainforest is called as lung of planet due to it provide high level of oxygen. That's why it is called as lungs of the planet. Harboring probably millions of species is being cut and cleared for the cultivation of soybean or for conversion to grassland for raising beef cattle. So Amazon rainforest is being cleared and cut for the preparation to use it for the cultivation of soybean, and also and also converting into grassland for raising beef cattle. So due to which there is a loss of various species. That is because various birds and animals are dependent on trees or on their area for their survival. If their habitat become lost, so they also become extinct. Beside total loss, the degradation of many habitat by pollution also threatens the survival of many species. So pollution rate is also increasing, due to which various species get affected and they are also getting extinct or maybe near extinction edge, that is becoming threatened. So what is fragmentation? So it is when the large habitats are broken into small fragments due to various human activities. So due to human benefit, various large territories are converted into small fragment for the human benefit, and the mammals, birds that require large territories and certain animals with migratory habitats are badly affected. So these mammal birds, due to their habitat loss, they become badly affected and population declines. Overexploitation. Humans have become dependent on nature for food and shelter. So humans have also depended on nature for their food and shelter. Now their needs are turning into greed. So they are becoming very greed, using forests, cutting of forests at a high pace for their benefit, which is disturbing the nature, and pollution rate is also increasing. that many vehicles are used and the pollution is increasing, which is disturbing the nature. So over exploitation of natural resources is also affecting the various species. In the last 500 years, many species become extinct, such as Taylor sea cow, passenger pigeon, that is due to overexploitation by the human. Presently, many marine fish populations around the world are over harvested. So, marine fishes, various marine fishes which are over harvested and become endangered, and at the edge of their existence become a question because their survival is difficult. Now, after that, alien species invasion. When alien species are introduced unintentionally or deliberately for whatever purpose, some of them turn invasive. So, when the alien species that is from foreign country or different country that is introduced in the native state or native country, then it becomes invasive because it is going to damage the current species, the native species. So it causes decline or extinction of indigenous species that is present by nature, naturally existing in that area, that is an indigenous species. Invasive species that is by the human activity introduced into that area. Okay, the Nile perch, introduced into Lake Victoria in the East Africa, led eventually to the extinction of an ecologically unique assemblage of more than 200 species of kickled fish. So we had Nile perch, which is introduced Lake Victoria, and after that, that fish, kickled fish, become extinct. Okay, because it is highly disturbed by that Nile perch. And the co-extinction, because one species is dependent on another species, both are dependent on each other for their survival, and if one become extinct then the another also become extinct. For example, horse fish, which become extinct, then it is assembled with the various parasite that become also extinct, going under same fate. So that is a co-extinction. So what are their four major causes? Overexploitation true, alien species invasion true, air pollution not a major cause, co-extinction true. So option is wrong because air pollution is wrong. Habitat loss and fragmentation true, air pollution no, it's wrong. Habitat loss and fragmentation, overexploitation, alien species invasion, co-extinction. So option C is correct. So yes, that is the option C is correct. After that, which of the following are major cause of biodiversity loss? So major cause of biodiversity loss: overexploitation, habitat loss, and fragmentation. So this is true. Climate change only? No. Overexploitation only? No. Habitat loss and fragmentation only? No. So only word is wrong here because there are many causes of biodiversity loss. So option is correct. Habitat loss and fragmentation, overexploitation, and alien species invasion, co-extinction are causes for. So these are causes for population explosion. No, that is not about the basically increasing in population. No. Competition, that is not about the competition. Biodiversity loss, yes. So these, the evil quadrate, are the basically causes of biodiversity loss. So option C is correct. Not for natality. Okay, after that, these are regarded as a major cause of biodiversity loss. Overexploitation true, co-extinction true, mutation no, habitat loss and fragmentation true, migration no. So option A, B, and D. So option D is correct. After that, how many hotspots of biodiversity in the world have been identified till date by the Norman Mayer? So 34, 17, 43, 25. So option E is correct. There are 34 hotspots of biodiversity in the world that have been identified by the Norman Mayer. We can see it here. So yes, initially 25 biodiversity hotspots were identified, but subsequently 9 more have been added to the list, becoming total number of biodiversity hotspots in the world is 34. These hotspots are also region of accelerated habitat loss. So by why they are called hotspot? Because of a high diversity a high level of diversity, but there are also accelerated rate of habitat loss. So that's why these are called a hotspot. And there are three major hotspots: Western Ghat, Sri Lanka, Indo-Burma, and Himalaya cover our country's exceptionally high biodiversity region. So that are India's three hotspots: Western Ghat and Sri Lanka, Indo-Burma, and Himalaya. Okay. After that, which of the following is an in situ conservation method? So, in situ conservation, first of all, what do you mean by in situ conservation? In situ conservation method, it is faced with a conflict between development and conservation. Many nations find it unrealistic and economically not feasible to conserve all their biological wealth. So there is very conflict between the development and conservation, and it is unrealistic and to conserve that biodiversity at the large level. So what happen is, it is a conservation of the species that can be plant or animal in their natural habitat. In the natural habitat, the tiger, for example, conserving its natural area in the forest in which he is living. So that is a in situ, conserved in their natural habitat, that is a in situ conservation. So in this, number of species waiting to be saved from extinction far exceed the conservation resources available. So yes, इसमें क्या है, जो number of species है that is waiting to be saved, so they are at the extinction rate, so that has to be conserved with the natural resources. So, on a global basis, this problem has been addressed by various eminent conservationists. They identified for maximum protection certain biodiversity hotspot regions with a very high level of species richness. So, they are also identified various biodiversity hotspots. Those hotspots which has a high level of species richness, and these are found only in that area, not on anywhere. That's why it is called endemism. What do you mean by endemism, which is in a high degree? Endemism means confined to that region only, not found anywhere. If one species is found in the Western Ghat, that it is found in the Western Ghat only, not found anywhere else. You can't find at any area another than Western Ghat. So that is an endemism. Confined to that area only, not found anywhere else, that is endemism. And biodiversity hotspot has high species richness and high degree of endemism. So various method of in situ conservations are biosphere reserves, national park, sanctuaries. India has 14 biosphere reserves, 90 national park, 414 wildlife sanctuaries. So these are various methods. It also includes sacred groves. Sacred groves is basically the it is a culture method, culture that describe the how plants and trees are protected. It giving education about the protection of the plant or animal species in the culture. So that's why it is called as sacred groves, which are found in the Khasi and Janita hills in Meghalaya, Ravli hills of Rajasthan, Western Ghat region of Karnataka and Maharashtra, and Sarguja, Chanda, and Basar area of Madhya Pradesh. In Meghalaya, sacred groves are the last refuge where large number of rare and threatened plants are present. So yes, so what are the in situ conservation methods? So sacred groves, yes. Wildlife safari park, no. This is a ex situ. Botanical garden, so that is a ex situ. Seed bank, ex situ. So option A is correct. Now the evil quartet. So evil quartet, which is representing the four major causes of biodiversity loss. So this option is third. Ex situ conservation. Ex situ conservation is about method. So that is a cryopreservation. Lantana camara, that is an alien species invasion. Second, dodo is a extinct bird. So evil quartet, that is a third. So that is present in all. Ex situ conservation, cryopreservation, 1. So option D is correct. That is done. Which one of the following is not included under in situ conservation? Wildlife sanctuary, botanical garden, wildlife reserve, national park. So national park is included, wildlife sanctuary, wildlife reserve, botanical garden, which come under ex situ. So option B is correct because they are asking not included under in situ. So botanical garden is correct. After that, match the following. Sacred Grove, which come under the Khasi Hills in Meghalaya. So that is a true. A का 4 option. 4. So C option wrong हो गया. Zoological Park, which come under the ex situ conservation method. 3rd. So B wrong हो गया. D option हमारा wrong हो गया. After that, C option, Nile Park, which is a alien species. So option first is correct. C का 1. So option B is correct. A का 4, B का 3rd, C का 1, and D का 2nd. Because we also read about the Amazon forest. It is a lungs of the planet, right? So option D is 2nd. So option B correct. After that, Western Ghats have larger number of plant and animal species that are not found anywhere else. Which of the following term is used? We have already read that when the one species or any species found in that area only, that is a endemism. So endemic species is true. Keystone species are about the main species which is a main species in the food chain. That can, if become extinct, that is going to disturb the whole the food basically species. Threatened species, that is at the near extinction or near endangered rate. Vulnerable species, so that is near future it can become threatened. So option D is correct. After that, which one of the following is an example of ex situ conservation? Protected area, no. National parks, no. Wildlife sanctuary, no. So these are in situ. Zoological and botanical garden, ex situ. So option A is correct. In situ conservation refers to protect and conserve the whole ecosystem. True, because we are conserving not only the species but also the area in which that species is living. So that's why option A is correct. Conserve only high risk species, no. Conserve only endangered species, no. Only extinct, no. That is extinct. So how you can conserve that the species is extinct? So that is not true. We have to conserve all the species, mainly which are threatened or at the edge of becoming extinct or threatened. So option is correct. We have to protect and conserve the whole ecosystem. We have to preserve all. After that, cryopreservation technique. So we have also already read what is cryopreservation technique. Cryopreservation technique, protection of environment, no. Protection of biodiversity hotspot, no. In situ conservation method, no. That is a ex situ conservation method. And it is a preservation of gamete in viable and fertile condition for a long period. And this is technique which is a preservation of gamete but at very ultra low temperature. At very low temperature, which is minus 196 degrees Celsius in the liquid nitrogen. So that is a cryopreservation technique, a preservation of gamete at very low temperature at minus 196 degrees Celsius in the liquid nitrogen. So option C is correct. After that, the type of conservation in which threatened species are taken out from the natural habitat and placed in a special setting where they can be protected and given special care. So we can know that is the ex situ conservation. In situ conservation, no. Semi-conservation method, no. Sustainable development, no. Sustainable development is using the resources very smartly or very useful way, not using in excess that can become extinct. So sustainable, useful, basically use it in a good way and a limited way. Sustainable development. So it is a biodiversity conservation because access to conservation comes under biodiversity conservation category of a biodiversity conservation. So the option B is correct. Pollen grains can be stored for several years in a liquid nitrogen having a temperature of minus 120, minus 80, minus 196 degrees Celsius, minus 160 degrees Celsius. So option C is correct, minus 196 degrees Celsius. We have also described here. After that, which of the following is not a method of ex situ conservation? In vitro fertilization, ex situ conservation, national park. So that is a in situ conservation method. So that is a option, not a method of ex situ. So then national park is a in situ conservation method, not a ex situ. So option B is correct. Micropropagation, cryopreservation, these are techniques of ex situ. National park is a in situ conservation method. World Summit on Sustainable Development held in 2002 in Johannesburg, South Africa, pledged for collection and preservation of seed of different genetic strains of commercially important plants and significant reduction in a current rate of biodiversity loss, declaration of more biodiversity hotspot, increase in agriculture protection. So, so they pledge for the biodiversity, a significant reduction in the current rate of biodiversity loss. So that is about the biodiversity loss. So option B is correct. So okay, we have discussed the main area of questions. So that's all for today. If you have any doubt, you can comment below. So thank you so much.